Hi, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share with you guys some Smith-Morra Gambit stuff that I have in my Chessable. These are a few key lines that I've ran into fairly recently, and they're very interesting. So I wanted to just make a video of these. Also, I can watch them on the way to tournaments. Of course, I don't actually look at the screen because then I would crash, but I can at least listen and be reminded of the ideas. So, okay, so this is one of them. This Morra Gambit, Larsson's defense. There's a really cool knight d5 line that I'm going to cover. I also want to cover a winning idea in e5 Morra, and we're going to look at a middle game plan as well and a Chicago defense. So there's four different lines that. Oh, and this we covered last video. So let's start with Larsson's defense. This is one of the cooler ones. And I'm going to, kind of explain what's going on here. So, okay, this is a setup that Larsson came up with, who is, of course, like a top 10 grandmaster. I'm not sure when, but he was. And basically the setup that Black is going for is e6, a6, knight c6, and then they go b5, with the idea of bishop b7, obviously, but then also queen c7. And queen c7, I'm not exactly sure why they play this move, but I assume it's to, actually, I'm not totally sure why they play that move. It looks a little weird to my eye, but it does stop bishop f4, so that might be part of the idea. Because then where does this bishop go? If we go to e3, I think Black can just develop and castle. Like, I'm pretty sure that if we don't do something drastic in these types of positions, like if we just play queen e2. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because I need to show you why we're playing this crazy move that I'm about to show you, because this happens. So I'm going to pull this up in Lichess really quickly. All right, so we'll use the engine for a second because I want you to see. So now you know the move is knight d5, which looks insane. But the normal Morra move, like if I was just playing lazy and I wasn't calculating, I would just play queen e2. It's the normal move. And then Black, they can go, looks like bishop c5. Okay, I go rook d1. They just go knight e7. Okay, fine, we pin that knight. Or actually, that's part of the reason behind queen c7. We don't get to pin the knight, so probably bishop g5 is a waste of time. Okay, but it's one of the computer moves. And then I think, they're almost ready to castle here. Like, they can even play f6 because an idea is to put the king on g7 and just develop this way. Like, that is an idea. Or they can go h6. And, if we pull back, look, Black castles. We're just down a pawn. Like, we have some compensation. I guess this move still works, but, of course, we might as well play earlier then. But, I mean, Black is like, the more the computer thinks, the more it likes Black. So we don't have full compensation for a pawn here, and these positions are a little frustrating. Like I would do things like rook ac1, and they just step off the file, and then I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like how do I get any sort of advantage here? And it wasn't clear to me. So that's what I'm trying to show you. So now let's go back to this. Okay, so now you're going to see the antidote to this problem. So we can't play lazy with queen e2, rook d1. What we're going to do is play this knight d5 move. Now, this is a normal Morra move. In fact, you sometimes have to play it, otherwise you're worse. So, like, if you're playing the Smith-Morra Gambit, you have to know this idea of, like, sacking your knight on d5. And, okay, this comes with tempo on the queen, so that's definitely one thing. But of course, we need to know what happens if they take it. I mean, this is the most critical variation and the thing that I need to know the most. So if they do take it, we take with a pawn. This comes with tempo on that knight, right? Now, when I calculated this line during a game, I saw this knight f5 thing, and I was a little concerned about it. I'm like, yeah, they're going to take my attacking bishop. Like, this isn't quite good enough because they can just take. I mean, maybe take with a queen. But of course, that's not the idea. By playing knight d5 and getting these trades, now the e-file is open, and now we see the problem with Larsson's defense, right? You're not developing your king side. So even though I just sacked my knight, yeah, this e-file is like a major thing. So we go rook e1. And yeah, what to do? They can't block, right? Because this pawn comes in and we win material back, and then white just has an excellent position. So king d8 is the critical try here. Okay, and now we are going to give a check. So bishop, g5 check. F6 is also a move, but I think on f6, probably we attack the queen. Probably would do that. And then go maybe bishop d2. I'm not exactly sure. I could pull that up. I can use the Chessable one, right? Let's do that. Oh, but I want f6, so let's go back a move if I can. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay, never mind. But, okay, black wants to develop. So this is the most natural move. f6 is not very desirable, right? Like you don't want to weaken your king side more, have your king be on d8, have your knight on the edge of the board. Like, you want to develop your pieces. So knight f6 to me is very critical. And now there's this really cool move. I like it a lot. It's queen d4. And when I first saw this idea, I was like, well, you know, what are we doing? Well, the idea before bishop e7 comes in is to take, check, and like fork, right? We're taking advantage of the king on d8, but we're also connecting our rooks. So that's quite important. And so black needs to defend the threat with this move. And now we get to play Morphy style. And if you know the opera game, which you don't, rook takes e7. So, I mean, this is cool. But the idea is that black's rooks aren't in the game. It's as if they don't exist. So we don't need both rooks. We just need, one rook to be active. So we give up one, take away key defender. Now, if the king goes to d8, I feel like it's pretty easy to see that, like, just check, take, and checkmate looks pretty good. So they can't do that. So they have to go to f8. And now we have checkmate in 3. I mean, it's not completely forced. Like, black could just lose heavy material. That's an option, but yeah, see if you can find it. Checkmate in 3 moves. Yeah, this is amazing. Queen takes f6. Look at this. And this same exact pattern, maybe not exact, but a very similar pattern happens in the Molar attack, where we go check, and notice that the rook on the e-file is just completely decisive. That's just checkmate. So yeah, so Chessable's gonna take us through this again. So knight d5, what a move, right? And it's just amazing that they cannot really take this move. And if you can't take it, then you're gonna be in serious trouble. So yeah, I didn't notate this line, but I know it well enough. I know what we're doing here. So I'm really excited the next time I get this in like a tournament game. I have had it before. I expect I'll see it again, and I'll be really excited for this line. Okay, so that was the first one. Let's do another one. Chicago defense. Okay. The Chicago defense is super weird. And Esserman basically says that it's not really playable. So it probably isn't. It's probably a bit unsound. But every Morra player is probably going to see it at some point. And it's this weird idea to like bring the rook to a7 and block the d-file with the rook. So they're going to go like d6, rook a7, and put the rook on d7. And by doing that, the bishop on b7 is protected, the pawn on f7 is protected. It's just like, it's kind of a really creative idea. It's not one that I've ever played myself, but it's creative. So we're going to look at what happens if black plays this strange way. So I'm pretty sure that I would go bishop e3 here. I do not have this memorized, so I'm going to have to kind of feel it out. Yeah, so okay, step 1 of Chicago defense, right? I would castle. It's got to be right. Okay, now it's only too natural to attack the rook. Now we are assisting black a little bit. We're giving them what they want. They want to put their rook on d7, so we're actually doing this. But we have an idea here, if I do recall. So what is the idea? I'm trying to recall. I feel like it has something to do with e6. Because notice that the rook is actually interfering with the defense of e6. And e6 is only protected once by this pawn on f7. So that makes me feel like knight g5, applying pressure to the f7 e6 complex, you know, it's something I would look at on my own, but I think this is the idea because I sort of vaguely remember the line to come. So is it knight g5? Could it be? I don't know. Nope, it's not. Could it be e5? Oh, maybe it's bishop g5? Oh, I think I remember the move, actually. I think it's knight to e4 because this also does the same thing. It hits e6. Okay, so they're developing and they're attacking, you know, putting pressure on e4. All right, and so now what? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to need a hint. Oh, f4. Yeah, we go f4. Oh, I can remember. Okay. f4. So the idea is to attack e6 with this pawn. We're targeting e6. So black of course wants to develop and get their king safe. Like if they accomplish that, you know, I think black will be better. So we need to do something. So let's go ahead and do this move, f5. Okay, so obviously they want to keep things closed and they can push this pawn with tempo. And now here comes our killer. Knight e6. We jump in there. This looks insane, but look what we're doing. We're opening up our rook when we take, and it comes with tempo on that rook. And guess what? That rook is short on squares. If they go here, it's subject to this move. Now, do we want to play that right away? Probably do. And we're actually like holding on to this like far advanced pawn. Okay, so black's going to play bishop e7 because they really, really want to castle now or they're going to get killed, right? Do we take the rook? I'm not even sure if we take it, but no, we don't. Maybe we just put a rook on the c file. Get all our pieces in the attack. This is a polymorphy idea. To get all the pieces in the attack. Plus, like, attack the pinned piece, right? Let's attack the pinned rook. I know the knight's in the way, but we're setting up some stuff here, like especially knight d5. Like, knight d5 is going to hit a lot of things. And if we're also hitting this, they're not going to have bishop takes. So yeah, I think knight d5 for sure. Knight d5. So it's either knight d5 or we take here and then play knight d5. This seems more likely because that attacks the queen so let's do that one. Yeah, and then here, take. Rook c7 is the move. Why on earth would that work? I remember it though. Rook c7 because, ooh, the queen's blockading our pawn. And if the queen were to take, we get to play check. That attacks the rook. Yes, this is right. So I'm going to do this. Check. They can block with d5. And then I watched an Esserman short on this. That's where I got this line. Of course, it's from Esserman. Full credit to Esserman. He's awesome. In Esserman, I trust. Okay, so he said something crazy like, I used to play queen takes d5, but now I'm a more mature player. I play bishop takes d5. And so, okay, I'm going to try to calculate this. If I had this in a real game, I would say, okay, I'm going to take here. That's a check. And if they take with the knight, they're going to just get mated, right? We take and the rook's open. So they can't take with the knight. So they would take with a bishop. And if they take with the bishop, then we take with the queen. And if they go here, then we get that mate. We can take, we can promote, or we can just play rook f8. Both are checkmate. So yeah, this is definitely it. Okay, and now queen takes. Queen sacrifice, gotta love it. And in this position, if they play rook f7, if we make a queen and they take, oh, wait a minute, it's not that. It's this. Check. Here, mate. Yeah, it's this move. If they take with the queen, mate. Because if they, yeah, it's mate. Yeah, so here you go. That's the that's the Chicago defense. I'm just showing you guys like one line. I mean, this is like all I know as well, but I feel like knowing one line at least helps me understand some new ideas to look out for. So yeah, here, what was the move? I think this move. Oh, it's just showing me the ones I got wrong, I guess. Yeah, and here, yeah, we didn't take. We played rook ac1. Okay. Got to prepare that. It's probably be even better if I went through the lines. I just don't want to bore you guys. I do that when I study a lot, though. I'll go through some actual variations. But yeah, this was bishop takes. Okay, so this was. I mean, we gotta memorize some things. So there you go, Chicago defense. Okay, so there was a couple more I wanted to show, but they're much shorter. One is a middle game plan that I learned that I think is really useful. This happens in the main line of the Smith-Morra, and it's this move knight d5, which I always know is a move that I want to play, but I don't always understand the follow-ups. So, like for example, if we go knight d5 here, I'd be concerned about knight takes. Like, what do we do here? Plus our bishop's hanging. So if we go knight d5 and they take the bishop, we obviously are going to take the queen and get a fork. So so they really can't do nothing. They have to do something about this. So let's go ahead and take with a knight. And then we would take with a pawn. And then they can't take with the bishop because they're pinned. So this is what I missed in a game. So knight d5, after takes and takes, they probably have to move this knight. But where to? Doesn't have good places to go. If they go here, they lose a pawn. Yeah, I think it's definitely this move. And let's just see how it continues now. Oh, okay, they can move the queen. Now our bishop's attacked. So what do we do? So like a move that I was playing kind of often was this, but I don't think it's that. I think there's a new idea here, and it might be bishop e3. Might be. If bishop e3, we're threatening this because that would be a tempo on the queen, and then we get that fork. So bishop e3 makes a pretty decent threat, but I feel like black could do something, but what? Could they just take? If they take, we take. I think that is what's going to happen. Yeah. So this is the line I didn't understand. That's why it's in here. I think we go ahead and take with the bishop. Let's see. What's the main idea here? Oh, I see it. I see it. Now we can take the knight, remove the defender of e5, and then capture e5. So this is part of what justifies that knight d5 move. And this is the line that I didn't calculate right. So I feel like looking at this and understanding this is going to help me calculate better in the future, because whatever I was missing, hopefully I now understand it better. So like yeah, so this, and yeah, what was the move? I think it was just bishop e3, right? I have to say too, like, if this knight captured here, I guess we go here anyway. We're attacking their queen, so that's a discovery on their knight. So that probably just loses. They'll move the queen somewhere, and then we take the knight. So that's a detail, important detail. Yeah, so, all right, this is it. Yeah, pretty interesting, right? And I looked at some other stuff too. I said bishop g5, here, here, here. Knight d5, queen d8. Well, I don't make any comments about it. That's probably what I played in the actual game, I bet. Okay, I didn't have much to say, but it's an important line. And we have one last one to do, so let's go ahead. It's a very short one, actually. It's this winning idea. Okay, let's look at this. So this is a position that resulted. It's in one of my training games, so this may look familiar, but I lost the game. I lose these e5 more as a lot because it feels like you should be able to crush black, and I don't find the ways how. So I think it's good to look at one like this one. So what do we play here? If you want to pause the video and try to find the best move, go ahead and do so now. Yeah, so this idea I just completely missed. It's knight g5. Knight g5 is nice. First of all, they can't take. That bishop is pinned. Second of all, we're like possibly going to jump in there, but we're also protecting the queen. So by protecting the queen, now if they take the queen, we can play knight takes and the rook is trapped. So we win material. So it's going to stop black from trading queens. That's probably my favorite thing about this move. But in addition, I mean, we might go here, we might go here, we might sink the knight in. If we can push this king here, then this will be a fork. So as you can see, there's a lot of ideas with knight g5 here. So yeah, so if knight f6, yeah, I think almost certainly, well, it could be this move. Could be this move, but then they just go there. It's definitely not this because they just take our queen. Could be this though. Yeah, maybe it probably is this, because look, if they go here, we fork them, and if they go here, we fork them, right? So yeah, they're getting forked. It's just, and this idea has happened in other lines as well. like forking on both sides, and then it's hard for the king to like find a spot where they're not going to get forked. It's kind of funny. So here it's got to be this. Ooh, and then we do this. Is that checkmate? Was that one checkmate? Might have been. Oh, I castled in the game and traded queens, and I said, trading queens and the white pieces will be retreating. White is better instead of winning. Okay. Knight of 6. It says if, yeah, if we looked at that, and then if knight of 6. Yeah, it is mate. And that's cool. I mean, when I see something like this, I don't want to forget it. I might remember it in a month, but I might not. But I definitely won't remember it in a year. But when I review these things in Chessable, way more likely to not only remember it, but remember so a bit more accurately. So I have had games where this Chessable stuff has really come in handy. So hope you guys enjoyed this adventures into the Smith-Morra Gambit, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay.